This is the last podcast for Chapter 14. Again, we're going to finish up talking about systematic observation tools in physical education. The first one on this podcast is the Qualitative Measures of Teaching Performance Scale that we use in physical education. It's also known as QMPTS. The supervisor observes several different types of teaching behaviors: demonstration, number and accuracy of teaching cues, qualitative cues, student responses, and specific congruent feedback. It is a checklist or rating scale format. Again, the red observation tool listed above is in the folder in Blackboard for systematic observation tools. This is one of my particular favorites about teacher movement. It determines teacher movement during a class. Mobile teachers in physical education can better monitor and relate to all students. What you do is you draw a map of the equipment, boundary lines, stage, whatever else is in the gymnasium, as if you're looking down on it from above from a camera posted on the roof or the ceiling. They place numbers in every minute and draw a line in between. You also code it for whether a teacher is giving feedback, whether they're directing students, or whether they're observing students, along with the numbers. You also look at the safety aspects are on the back of the movement map and safety tool. You look at the context of the class altogether. This is an excellent tool to use in physical education. And again, the movement map safety tool that's listed in red here is found in the folder in Blackboard. Maximum practice opportunities. This systematic observation tool is also specific to physical education. It determines the amount of time that students are allowed to practice a skill or a strategy. More practice equals more proficiency, as we know in physical education. In other words, practice makes perfect. Wait time should be limited. Lessons should be planned for few interruptions, although sometimes those are out of our control. Students have most possible touches with the equipment. That's what maximum practice means. And maximum student engagement. We want to look at how much the students are actually engaged in learning and how much time they actually get to practice. The systematic observation tool for this is called Maximum Practice Opportunities. Some people call it MPO, and that is listed or placed in the systematic observation tool folder on Blackboard. The student task success rate is another one that is specific to physical education. It determines the developmental level of the lesson task. The task should be challenging but not boring. The task should be challenging but not over difficult. The students need to experience success to be motivated to learn new content. So this student task success rate, or STSR, systematic tool helps you determine whether your lessons are developmentally appropriate. The systematic observation tool is called Student Task Success Rate, and it is placed in the folder on Blackboard. Time management systematic tool is one that's used in any subject area, but in physical education periods are usually short, and time needs to be budgeted so there's no waste of time, but also no time without content. Teachers should stay on a learning task until at least 85% of the class is successful, or somewhere around 80% of the class is successful. So what we're looking at in this systematic tool is whether time is wasted by waiting around to go to another learning task when it should have been done a few minutes ago. We want to see how much time is wasted in physical education. And this observation instrument is called Time Management, and it's in the folder. The Teaching Cues Systematic Observation Tool is specific to physical education. Teaching cues focus the learner on the content and give a visual image or an imaginary image for the students. Cues should be short verbal phrases that highlight critical elements of skills and strategies. Teaching cues should be planned for within a lesson. That's why we have a particular place on the lesson plan for you to write them down. Frequency counts of cues at different parts of the lesson are what is measured by this Teaching Cues Systematic Observation tool. The use of teaching/learning cues is the name of the instrument, and it's in the folder on Blackboard. Finally, my favorite systematic observation tool is the verbal mannerisms systematic observation tool, because I do this quite a lot. Habitual verbal mannerisms can be distracting to students. Examples are you know, okay, The supervisor counts the frequency or the number of occurrences during a class. It's excellent for teacher awareness for them to be able to know that they're doing it. Many times we use these verbal mannerisms as transitions from one sentence to another, especially when we're nervous and we know that somebody's watching us. It's not very often that we do this later on as we mature and get more experienced. But the name of the systematic observation tool is Systematic Observation of Verbal Mannerisms, and it's located in the folder on Blackboard. This is the end of Podcast 3 for Chapter 14, and the end of the podcasts altogether for PHED 591, Secondary Methods in Physical Education.